Traveling to a foreign country can be jarring. When doing business with a foreign country, it is important to understand about their culture. This can help prevent misunderstandings that could cost a business deal or relationship. We will cover cultural basics of Japanese society, greetings and communication, dining etiquette, and business etiquette. First off, you must understand that the Japanese are a very introverted culture. They value harmony as they use it to guide the way that they interact with family, in business, and in society as a whole. This is taught to all at a very young age. This emphasizes the interdependence of working together rather than being independent. They believe that working in harmony is a major part of working productively. They also place a great emphasis on politeness, personal responsibility, and working together for the universal rather than the individual good. This philosophy differs than ours in America. Although we encourage good teamwork, our society focuses a lot on the individual and less on the group as a whole. Greetings in Japan are very formal and tend to be ritualized. It can be seen as impolite to introduce yourself, even in a large gathering. If at all possible, wait to be introduced. Bowing is a way of greeting. How far you bow depends on your relationship to the other person, as well as the situation. The deeper the bow, the more respect you show. A foreign visitor, or gaijin, may bow the head slightly, since no one expects foreigners to generally understand the subtle nuances of bowing. The Japanese are very focused on non-verbal communication. Since the Japanese are very group-dependent, they focus on facial expressions, tone of voice, and posture to tell them what someone feels than rather what someone says, as words can often have more than one meaning. They believe the context in which something is said affects the meaning of the words. Therefore, it is very important to understand the situation fully to appreciate the response. You'll notice that most Japanese maintain impassive facial expression when speaking. You should try to be conscious of your expressions, as they can interpret something you did not mean to portray. For example, frowning while someone is speaking is interpreted as a sign of disagreement. The main expressions you should watch out for include inhaling through clenched teeth, tilting the head, scratching the back of the head, and scratching the eyebrows. Nonverbal communication is so important they have a book for foreigners on how to interpret the signs. You also notice that the Japanese tend to favor indirect eye contact to direct eye contact. It is considered disrespectful to stare into another person's eyes. They may view direct eye contact as intimidating or trying to intimidate or threaten. Japanese are also very conscious of personal space. They generally will stand about arm's length from one another. This may be farther when meeting strangers. There is almost no touching between the Japanese while talking in their culture. In social situations, this may change, but this is very different than America. The Japanese understand it's very difficult for foreigners to work in Japan. They will not expect you to speak or read Japanese. They also do not expect you to know their strict cultural nuances or protocol. Mistakes are allowed as long as genuine respect is shown at all times. They usually try to help you, but often feel embarrassed at their own lack of understanding. When speaking to them, it is often best to imply what you're saying versus what you actually are saying. As they prefer an indirect communication style. This may be to prevent a loss of face. Face is an important thing to understand, but hard to define. It can be seen as a sense of personal dignity or self-worth. It can be lost, gained, or maintained. Every interaction can affect your face, so it must be constantly attended to. Saving face is a crucial part of Japanese culture. The Japanese believe that turning down someone's request causes embarrassment and a loss of face to the person. If the request cannot be agreed to, they will say it's inconvenient or it's under consideration. The Japanese will never try to do anything that would cause a loss of face. Therefore, they do not openly criticize, insult, or put anyone on the spot. Face can be lost, taken away, or earned through praise and thanks. When dining, there are many nuances to be aware of. First off, there is a protocol to be followed. You need to wait to be told where you sit, as someone will be instructing you on where to sit. The honored guest or the eldest person will be seated at the center of the table, furthest from the door. The honored guest or eldest will also be the first person to begin eating. When eating, try a little bit of everything. It is acceptable to ask what something is, and even to make a face if you do not like the taste. Mixing food with rice is usually not done, as we tend to do in the States. You eat a bit of one and a bit of the other, but they should never be mixed. Don't be surprised if your Japanese colleagues slurp their noodles and or soup. as this is very common in their culture, whereas ours is considered rude. If you do not want anything to drink, do not finish what is in your glass. An empty glass is an invitation for someone to serve you more. Contrary to previous statement, if you leave a small amount of rice in your bowl, you'll be given more. To signify that you do not want more rice, finish every grain in your bowl. It is acceptable to leave a small amount of food on your plate, but not too much. Conversations at the table generally are subdued. The Japanese like to savor their food and just do not talk very much. It'd be very important to learn to use chopsticks, but there are some things you need to be aware of. Chopsticks should be returned to the chopsticks rest after every few bites, and when you drink or stop to speak. You should never use your chopsticks to point at someone or something, as it is considered rude. Avoid sticking your chopsticks upright in a bowl of rice, as this is reserved for funerals. Avoid sucking or biting on the chopsticks. Do not pierce fruit on your chopsticks. Do not cross your chopsticks when putting them on the chopstick rest. When you finish eating, place your chopsticks on the chopstick rest or on the table. Do not place your chopsticks across the top of your bowl. Business etiquette and protocol. Business dress is quite formal for both men and women. For men, you should wear a conservative dark suit with white shirts and conservative ties. Also wear shoes that are easy to slip on and off if possible, as some places will make you do so. For women, conservative business suits or dresses and or blouses are okay. Avoid tight-fitting and sleeveless attire. Business cards are an important part of Japanese business culture. Business cards are exchanged constantly and with great ceremony. The exchange of cards, or meishi, is an essential part of business etiquette. Before you go, it'd be wise to invest in quality business cards. It'd be a good idea to have one side of your business cards translated into Japanese. Make sure your business card includes your title, so your Japanese colleagues will know your status within the organization. Always keep your business cards in pristine condition. It is wise to carry them in a business card carrier. You will want to purchase a lot of business cards, as you can hand out 40 or more at a large meeting. Make sure you bring enough for the whole trip. After a person has introduced him or herself and bowed, the business card ceremony begins. You will offer a business card with both hands, Japanese side facing up, and a slight bow. This will demonstrate greater respect. If there are several Japanese men at the place, you will find that cards are presented in order of rank, and with the highest ranking individual presenting his card last. Once you receive the card, you will receive it with both hands. You will examine the card carefully with interest. They will expect you to carefully read and memorize all of the pertinent information. Treat the business card you receive as you would the person. Do not ever write on a business card or put it in your pocket. This can be considered an insult. Make sure you place your business cards in a card case or portfolio. Business relationships are very important. The Japanese prefer to do business on the basis of personal relationships. Make time to build these relationships. Being introduced or recommended by someone who already has a good relationship with the company is extremely helpful. It will allow them to know where you place in a hierarchy relative to themselves. A good way to build and maintain these relationships is with seasonal greeting cards. It is important to be a good correspondent, as Japanese hold this in high esteem. Business meeting etiquette. Appointments are required, and whenever possible should be made several weeks in advance. Punctuality is important. Arrive on time for a meeting, and expect your Japanese colleagues will do the same. Since this is a group society, even if you think you'll be meeting one person, be prepared for a group meeting. The most senior person will be seated from the door, with the rank descending to the most junior person seated closest to the door. It may take several meetings in order to for your Japanese counterparts to become comfortable with you and be able to conduct business with you. This initial getting to know you time is crucial for laying a foundation for a successful relationship. You may be awarded a small amount of business as a trial to see if you meet your commitments. If you respond quickly and with excellent service, you prove your ability and trustworthiness. Never refuse a request, no matter how difficult or non-profitable it may appear. The Japanese are looking for a long-term relationship. Always provide a package of literature about your company, including articles, client testimonials. Always give a small gift and present it to the most senior person at the end of the meeting. Your Japanese contact can advise you where to find something appropriate. In dealing with Japanese, you have to realize they're very non-confrontational. They have a difficult time saying no, so you must be vigilant in observing their nonverbal communication. It is best to phrase questions so they can answer yes. For example, do you disagree with this? Group decision-making and consensus are important. The Japanese will often remain silent for a long period of time. Be patient and try to work out if your Japanese colleagues have understood what you said. Sometimes Japanese close their eyes when they want to listen intently. Never raise your voice or temper during negotiations. Using a Japanese lawyer is seen as a gesture of goodwill. Japanese lawyers are very different from Western lawyers as they are much more functionary. When written contracts are required, these generally are broad agreements. Japanese seldom grant concessions. They expect both parties to come to the table with the best offer. The Japanese do not see contracts as final agreement, so they can be renegotiated.